Welcome to my channel, and I know what you're thinking. How can someone with such a ridiculous tiny budget ever collect 10 items for a holiday gift guide? And yes, I admit some of them are a little bit weird, but check this out. Item number 1. If you're in the market for like super granular colors because you have been watching the Superfly videos, the Schminke granular, also the other brands like, I don't know, Masha's watercolors, and you just want to quiet down that want monster on an affordable way, I can totally recommend the White Nights Watercolor Extra Fine Artist Colors Granulation Set. It's a set of 12 colors where this is the swatching card where you get the most mixable colors. So from this set you can switch and swatch out and come to the color that you can find in the Supervision set. It's just a matter of combining them. I've been very fond of this set and it didn't set me back much. And I'm not going to mention any prices because I noticed that my prices here in Europe are very different from the rest of the world. So I'm just going to give suggestions. This also used to come in a tube set, and I think it's sold out. So the pan set is what's left on the market at the moment. Item number 2. If you want to give a cute little gift to a watercolor enthusiast, I can totally recommend this tiny little sketch palette. You can clip it onto your sketchbook and it will give you a tiny footprint when you're outdoor sketching. It comes with empty pans and in various configurations, and my mixing tray got this acetate on top so you can clean it off and it won't be staining the white underneath, and it's got magnets. So when you close it up, it do stay closed in your bag. It's not like sliding or getting out of proportion. I really love this tiny set. And item number 3 is brushes. I'm very picky with my brushes, and I am also very loyal to my brushes. So once I fall in love with one brush, I keep grabbing for it. So what happened was when I bought this set from Christy Rice is that I actually found new love for new brushes. It's a very nice set. Look at the fine liner, how fine it is, and not super chunky as in other sets. I love this slanted brush right here, and this is just a workhorse, and I've used it a lot, and the tip is still nice and firm. Then we got something that looks a little bit like filberts, but they are awesome for botanical leaf mark making. And this brush right here is my less used one because I haven't yet taught myself how to use it. But the few times where I have tried to double load this brush to make petals, it has looked so beautiful. So I think it must be like a petal brush or something. This set is so colorful and beautiful to look at, and my set came in this pouch right here. And I have to confess that I have no regrets about investing in this tiny brush set. And I know now you're thinking, what the heck is this, right? Well, this is a workhorse of mixing jars for when I'm painting watercolors. What I want to say about this is that I cannot express how much I have loved during the year that I can put a lid on my mixing jar. I got Cat, and I don't know why, but for some reason she would prefer water from the gutter instead of water from her water tank out at the feeding station. And she also is super interested in water in these containers where I clean off my brushes. So if you are able to find something in this style where you can put a lid on your mixing water, your dirty water, I really think that you will come to love it too. And also, if you don't have pets and during the summer, I remember last year there were constantly like insects when I wake up in the morning and go to my creative space. I would find that some insects had found its way to the water and was drowning in it. Like really not likable look. So for several reasons, I think it is worth looking for rinsing jars that you can close off with a lid if you want to buy a gift to an artist who seems to have it all. Number 5 on my list of what I think you could treat a person who is doing outdoor sketching is this wooden sketch bag. It opens up and you can transform it into an easel. There is this rod right here where you can let it rest, so you can have your sketchbook lying here on the top. And in the lid of this case, you can have all your drawing utensils, and there is this white elastic band that's very useful if you got some tools that are like wider than these elastic down here. And notice that there is this hinge right here, so you can actually have this resting from your shoulder, and then it will be hanging like this, so you have this catch-all table surface if you're standing up sketching. And that seems to be my issue the most, because some of the things that I like to sketch is not viewed from a bench, so I quite often don't have a place to sit when I'm outdoor sketching. And I thought it was very confusing to have a sketch bag with the shape of a real bag, because things got lost in the bottom of my bag, so small items like erasers and stuff. Plus I feel that my bristles on my brushes were damaged because I just threw them in the bottom of the bag. But here I feel that I can stand up having this hanging from my shoulder and have a desk space where I can just toss things into, and then I can secure it more firmly with elastics before I go home. And what's so likable about this wooden set here, besides that it's made out of wood, is that it also can contain my little travel watercolor palette. So I've been very fond of this purchase. It has really, yeah, just made me feel more joyful going outdoor sketching. Number 6 on my list is a little bit crazy. Well, I ran out of matte medium from Golden, and it was not in my budget to replace it. So this year I tried to seek out other affordable brands in my budget, and I noticed that there was a matte medium from Liquitex, but it wasn't like super price off, you know. And then I fell in love with the gloss varnish from Liquitex. But then, I don't know if it's because I come from a nation of people who likes to collage. I mean, even our queen is making collage art and decoupage page art. I think that's what we call it in English. Decoupage art is like very high on the list of what Danish people like to do. So we are able to get this certain glue, which is fast drying, have like a shiny, very pushed back lacquered surface without being glossy. So if you use this gloss varnish, your pages will stick together in your journal. If you use this called glue and lacquer, it's not gonna stick. Your pages are still having a very nice common sheen to it, so it looks like one full piece and not clusters of shiny spots and then matte areas. You can really make your page spread look nice as an overall varnish actually. And I really like the fact that it doesn't go down streaky, and it's very frugal to use, And you can get it in a matte, but I would prefer to use the gloss because there's something about this gloss that enhances the colors. I don't know if you have seen when people are varnishing oil paintings and suddenly all the color springs to life, right? I feel the same with this. So that is my tip, that if you are out of your matte medium and you want to try a new product, then try venture into the decoupage department and try out some of their glue and lacquer products. This year I also fell in love with a special marker. It's called a twin marker from the brand Pilot. And what I love about this is that it's waterproof and it's an alcohol-based marker. It comes with one tip in one end. Looks very close to using a black Sharpie. And then it has a fine tip in the other end. I think it's similar to a 0.03 nib. What I love about this workhorse of a marker is that it really goes on top of a lot of things. What I have put this permanent alcohol marker out to is just numerous things, and I feel honestly that it's more durable than a Sharpie marker because it's somehow got this nib that doesn't destroy. It keeps its it holds its stand, it doesn't fray, and it just keeps on working. And you can have like a fine line movement, and you can also squeeze down and then really get expressive. And I find that I am a pen killer because I push so hard, and this is the nib that can survive the way that I handle pens, and also what I expose them to when I start using it on very questionable surfaces. It's made in Japan, and it comes in a set with numerous. I think I buy mine in six-piece sets, and they last a very long time. I have really found a good replacement for Sharpie and also Posca. So this is a very nice pen. And this product right here is kind of new to me. I've only used it in a certain way for the past month. What this is that it's graphite ink. I think you use it in the printing industry. It's an oil-based printer's ink, you could call it. What I love about this product is, you know, when I draw a drawing and I want like a super black background to it, I usually tend to gravitate towards my black gouache because it's got like this matte surface which makes it looks velvety. And I am not so fond about using acrylic paint because I can see my pen strokes, and I can also easily spot where I have applied a little bit more acrylic, especially when you're close to the line work of your painting. I can see where I've deposited with my brush a little bit bulky amount of black acrylic. So it's just frustrating for me when I want something that's permanent. I know that I could get a very smooth and nice result with like pan pastel in black, but that's not permanent for me. I'm so clumsy I smear it out. So this product right here, because it's oil based, it's very frugal to use, and even in a thin layer it's like super opaque. And because it's ink based, it soaks into the paper, so when you're doing multiple applications, it just soaks in, just as if you have taken an alcohol marker and just draw on top of already existing line work. So you don't have that level of you cannot physically see where you have top coated places. It dries up with this very, very black expression, so it's so close to be velvet, like blacker than black, velvety. I can see why the print industry really lean toward these product here. This one in particular is bought at the professional printing studio, and they imported it from Italy, and I'm not sure that I can translate this. I think I don't know what this how to say this in English, but I think what you should look up for is an oil-based printing black ink, and then you will find these tubes, and they are just a must-have in your stash if you like to work with drawings that need a totally black background. Oh, by the way, I always got a little thing extra to say. You know what? I have also used this on canvases, where I primed the canvases with gesso and then rolled this ink on, and it was, okay, granted, it was like a tiny 5x5 canvas, because I was working a lot with these small 5x5 oil paintings, and I have to say, it was just a pleasure to work with, and oil paintings just glide on top of this, so it's just very versatile. Number 9 is also related to oil. I've been painting quite a bit with oil this year, and the downside about using liquid painting medium is that they got this child-proof lid, so I kind of struggle with opening this every time, and I want to put in a good habit about putting the lid back on each time I need some painting medium, so that the odorless mineral spirit doesn't evaporate into my breathing air while I work. So I have been cussing quite a bit about fighting with this child-proof lid, and I also think that I find it very difficult to pick out exactly the amount of this liquid painting medium that I need. I always get too much. So my tip is, ta-da, Gambling Galcud Gel. It's a gel medium that on top of it also is fast drying, and you can, if you're like really frugal and you just need a tiny bit, you can actually tip with your palette knife the exact tiny amount out of this tube that you need, or you can simply just squeeze out some paste on your palette. But I have really enjoyed working with this, and if I have squeezed out something on my palette and I didn't have anything to use it for anyway, I find that I can mix it into my glob of paint, and it won't disturb it, even though that it is like a painting and drawing medium. So it actually also smoothes up my paint residue that I keep on my palette for the next painting session. I just want to say that it's so easy to work with a lid like this, so you can screw it on and off, and I don't feel that this gel is evaporating into my work surface. I can actually see how it's more contained on my palette compared to this liquid that will eventually evaporate if you just leave it untouched on your palette. So that was a little tip if you're an oil painter. And now for number 10, the final thing on my gift guide list for the little creative artist. If you know someone and they are very creative and you want to support their art room, but you don't know what to get them, I can tell you, I know it's difficult, but I can tell you, people who are creative very often also like beautiful things to look at, so they like to surround themselves with something beautiful. When I turned 50, my son did not know what to get me, and he said, you know, I know that you like to art and paint a lot, and I wanted to support it, but I didn't have a clue of what to get you of art supplies. But I have noticed that you always drink either water, tea, or coffee. So he gifted me this set for my art room. This jug here to hold water. This is a coffee cup. And this, my friends, is a teacup with a little kettle on top of it. I have to say that I treasure this set so much. And I think it is so spot on. And even though it's not an art supply, it still belongs to my art room because it was gifted, meant for my room. And I think it's such a cute way of showing people that I want to support your creativity, but I don't know what to buy. So I'm buying you items that you can enjoy looking at and using in your art space. So I think that should be like the last the last cherry on top of this very strange gift guide. I hope that I at least could inspire you with just one thing. I know it's very difficult to do gift guides to people who seems to like have it all, but Merry Christmas out there. Bye bye.